Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now, and I'm here today with hard rock and blues band Scarlet and the Harlots. With me today are Susan, who's Scarlet and the lead singer. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Cynthia.
And Trevor, who plays guitar and also sings. Hey, Trevor.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Congratulations on the success of your album, Can't Seem to Get Enough. I absolutely love the title track.
Thank you.
Tell me more about that song because I can't seem to get enough of it. I bet you hear that all the time.
Well, not to start things off on a bummer, but that song's actually written about uh, barriers to reentry for people who have been incarcerated and the struggles they find with um, finding jobs and housing and all that kind of stuff. And I just I just kind of wanted to get into their headspace and write a song about it, and that seemed to come out as the title track for the album. So.
I absolutely never would have guessed that.
Most people don't.
So good, good. We're not transparent.
I also love the blues feel of what I do. Hopefully that is a little bit better backstory. Why don't you tell me about that track?
It's not really a better backstory. That song's more about just frustrations with identity and figuring out who you are as a person, and wanting to be more than just a cliche, and wanting to help people, and finding your true calling in life. I mean, that song is just about finding things in life that inspire you, whether it's, helping other people or things. It's about wanting to be a community that helps people instead of being individuals. It's about my frustration with people being selfish, to be honest. So, I mean, that's the real root of that song.
Okay.
That's a totally
The
different
music
answer.
does not reflect that at all. And on that point, I do want to compliment you because I love your edgy sound. For me, you take blues to the next level because you mix a highly charged blues beat with rock and roll riffs, and I also hear a little bit of southern rock too. How would you describe your music?
Sure.
Um, we all listen to a lot of different things and come from diverse music backgrounds, and a lot of us come from a jazz and blues background, um, from music school, and I think a lot of those different influences from music school and um, the types of music we listen to, I don't know, they tend to find their way into our music in unique ways, almost subconsciously. We don't think too hard about trying to write music that sounds a particular way. It just kind of happens. And I think that's just because of the backgrounds that we all come from.
Then tell me a little bit about who your music influences are.
I listen to everybody for me, I listen to everybody from Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix to Count Basie and Beethoven, and the Black Keys. Uh, it's a big span of music, and I know everybody else in the band has equally as diverse repertoire that they listen to every day that I do, and I think that's kind of what makes our music unique.
How about you, Susan?
I grew up with my grandfather was a jazz drummer, so we listened to a lot of like Glenn Miller Orchestra and old big bands when I was really, really young. And then in my teens, I started playing classical piano, and then I played flute in band. And in high school, I listened to Led Zeppelin, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and then in my 20s, I started singing opera. So that's my background.
You mentioned Kent State, and I know that most of the band met each other when you were playing in jazz band at Kent State. Tell me, who currently are the members of the band? What instruments do they play, and how did you meet?
Well, I'm the lead singer, Susan Scarlet. I was in the jazz band. I was the singer in the jazz band, and Trevor played saxophone in our jazz band. Um, Chris is our trombonist. He played in our jazz band as well, but after us, I think. We met him later on. Toussaint is our bassist. He was not in jazz band with us, but we met him later on. He's a graduate of Akron University. Um, uh, Ryan is our drummer. He wasn't in jazz band either, but is a good friend of ours. And I'm sorry, I just said drummer and I meant guitarist. Ryan is our guitarist, and he does a lot of like auxiliary stuff and writes charts and like is just a great theoretical mind to help us with the band. And then Dylan, our drummer, was in jazz band with us. And I think that's everybody, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's everybody.
You mentioned that you have a pretty extensive music background, so what's your music and training?
For me, um, I started playing classical piano. That was my first instrument, and then I played in the band. I played flute. I started singing in high school. I sang in choirs for many years and madrigal groups, and then I started doing solo work, singing opera when I was in my 20s, and sang with Opera Cleveland for a number of years, and then and then somehow I ended up in a rock band. So I don't know how that happened, but here I am now.
What about you, Trevor?
My uncle would take me to blues gigs, and I think I did my first blues gig when I was 16 in a small town in Ohio called Mount Vernon, at this bar called Flappers. And from then I started doing blues gigs and rock and roll gigs, and I went to college for music and ended up getting a master's degree in composition and saxophone, believe it or not. But whenever I wasn't in class, I always played rock gigs and blues gigs, and that ended up being my passion. So.
Well, now I understand why you have such a diverse sound and you really mix the
Yeah.
rock and the blues together.
Right.
To change the topic a little, how do you use social media to promote your music and to connect with fans?
That's you.
Um, we try to make sure that we're connecting with the audience and trying to bring them in on the ground floor with us, that they're a part of something bigger than they are, and that they could be with us in the future when we're bigger and better and whatever. We try not to ask them for things, and we try not to be overbearing. We want them to feel a part of this thing that we're creating, and whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or our website or whatever, that's our goal. We want them to be with us and on board with us. So.
I like that. No spam.
That's right.
No spam.
Since Amused Now is about artists helping artists, and you have a different type of music, What advice do you have for other artists who are trying to make a name for themselves and have a very unique sound?
Go ahead, Scarlett.
Oh man, I have to answer this. Be yourself. Like, don't allow other people to influence you creatively. Just really follow your heart and um, and really believe in what you're doing, because there's going to be a lot of people that tell you it's wrong, but you really have to believe in yourself and your creativity, and that what you're providing is what people need to hear, that it's something that's valuable to the world as an art form, and you really need to have faith in your product and not let anybody influence your opinions about what your art is. You just need to forge ahead.
Trevor, do you have anything you'd like to add?
She said it.
I said it.
She pretty much said it. I mean, if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're not gonna. There's no way you're gonna succeed. Even intrinsically, it's not worth pursuing. So she pretty much nailed it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what's up next for Scarlet and the Harlots?
Trevor?
We got some college dates coming up. We're trying to get ourselves on a bunch of festivals and tours this summer. We're working on some new material for either some new singles or a new EP coming out probably in 4 or 5 months. We're working on some really unique gigs. So if you wanna see what's going on, jump on Facebook or scarlettheharlots.com and you can see what we're up to.
Sounds like a plan. Well, Trevor and Susan, I've had a fabulous time getting to know the two of you tonight.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia.
And I wish you all the best. Good night.
Thank you very much. You too.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now. This featured artist presentation has been brought to you by Amused Now Entertainment, a website that enables artists to profit from their creativity. To learn more about Amused Now, visit us at www.amusednow.com or email me at ckahn@amusednow.com.